Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Non-Reality, and today I'm going to be bringing you a Paladin build guide for Vaulton and just an overall really good Paladin guide for your statics and whatnot. So first up, we're going to be looking at skills. We got Charge as our first ability. Charge is the skill that you're going to be using to get in and out of AoE if you don't have your dash up, and it also gives you a shield with a certain tripod. This shield's good for if you have your W down and you really need to put a shield on yourself so you don't die. So what you're going to be running on this is excellent mobility and shining protection, along with the quick recharge rune for the chance of lowering all of your skills. Next up, we have Executor's Sword. This is one of your stagger abilities. For this, you're going to be running excellent mobility, weak point, Executioner's Strike with a stagger rune. Next up, we have Holy Sword, which is your other stagger ability. This ability is also a counter. You're going to be running Positioning, Outburst of Light, and Release Light, and then you're also going to be running another stagger rune for this one. Next up, we have Light Shock. Light Shock is your defense reduction ability on the boss. With this, you're going to be running Swift Fingers, Light's Visage, and Powerful Shock with a bleed rune just for a bit of extra damage. Next up, we have your secondary shielding ability, God Sent Law. You're going to be running Shield, Wide Angle, and Grace with a protection rune, so when you cast this, you can cast it away from yourself and still get protected. Next up, we have your first attack buff for your whole party, which is Wrath of God. You're going to be running the Wide Thunderstroke, you're going to be running Faith for the Piety meter, and then you're going to be running Express Fury for the 15% damage buff. With this, you're going to be running the Wealth rune, since this is one of the highest gauge gaining abilities. Next up, we have your main shield ability. This is Holy Protection. You're going to be running Quick Pace, and then for Vaulton and for a lot of fights, you're going to be running Robust Protection. You can be running Purify for certain fights, like the P3 Argos for one of the phases with the poison, but I recommend doing the Robust Protection. And then you're going to be running Vow of Light, which restores HP when the shield is done. And with that, you're going to be running any focus rune you have. If you've really grinded collectibles and stuff, I'm pretty sure you can get a purple one, but for now I only have a green one. And then your last main ability is your other attack buff, which is Heavenly's Blessing. You're going to be running Faith on this as well, Valor for the 15% attack buff, and then MP Recovery for your whole team. This is a very important one. And then you're going to be running a Wealth rune on that. And then you're going to be grabbing for your Awakening skill, the Judgment ability. This one gives your whole party an 80% of your max HP barrier. And next up, we're going to be looking at gems and engravings. So first off, we have gems. The main gems you're going to want to focus on, and what I mean by this is like get level 4s or 5s for everything else, and then work on those level 7s for specific ones. You're going to want level 7 Holy Protection. You're going to want level 7 Wrath of God cooldown. And then you're going to want level 7 Heavenly Blessing cooldown, which I don't have. But with these level 7, you'll be able to constantly switch your attack buffs, rotate them between the two abilities, so the downtime is very minimal. And then obviously with the shield cooldown, it just makes it so your shield has more uptime. Next up, we have the engravings. Now for Paladin, your main 3 and the ones you need to have are Awakening, Blessed Aura, and Expert. And then your 4th one can be either Spirit Absorption, Drops of Aether, or if you're not very confident, you can run Heavy Armor. I do not recommend Heavy Armor because it only helps you, whereas Spirit Absorption, Drops of Aether can help your teammates. So that is what we got for that. Next up, we have your stats. You're going to be running full swiftness. I know that people say go spec. It is a terrible build. Full swiftness, spec on the necklace for the little extra bonus, but that's what you want to be running because you'll have your cooldown at 30% or higher, and your W and your D or your shield and your 2 attack buffs will be off of cooldown way shorter times. Now let's talk about some of the rotations you're going to be running. So obviously you have your main shield. That's how much it does when you're at my similar stats. If you see your teammates in trouble, let's say you have a Sork here. Can I ping in this area? No, I can't. Let's say you have a Sork over here and she's casting a very long animation skill. You can place your shield down there and you see I still get a shield here. Now, with these 2 attack buffs, you're going to want to be interchanging them. So you're going to pop your D, you're going to look at your skill bar, you're going to 7, 6, and you're going to wait until this hits about 1.5 something, maybe like right there, and you cast your other ability and it comes up right away. Now, once you do this, there obviously is going to be a couple second downtime, about 7 seconds, which will be lowered with better gems and then also the relic set that we're going to be getting. Now, with your main counter ability, the reason that we run out, I think it's Outburst of Light, or it could be Release Light, I'm not sure, is because you can use this ability without contacting an enemy, and your light goes pretty far. And with this, you can still counter a boss. So if a boss is rushing over here, and your whole team needs to stand here for an AoE or something, but you need to get that counter off, you can still stand over here and press F and counter the boss. Now your E, like I said, is just a normal stagger. It moves you forward a bit, and I think it can counter. I have countered with it before. It does not say counter, but I have countered with it before. Other than that, you do have your Q. Just make sure you kind of go over the distance at which it goes, and then obviously you have your light judgment, light shock. That's what it's called. And make sure you also look at the range of that. You don't want to be missing abilities, so make sure you look at the ranges. One thing we could go over actually is the cards. So for Paladin, I'm just running max HP right now because, like I said before, your ult does go off of your max HP, and I think also your W might go off your max HP. Yes, it does. So that's why running this set right now is really good, especially if you don't have full card sets for Lost Winds Cliff or Light of Salvation. I have like the full 6 set, but it's still just not worth running in my opinion. For Vaulton, it could be good to run. I'm pretty sure you're going to be want to run either or. I'd recommend everyone runs Light of Salvation if you do have a full 6 to run, because it is a 2% difference in damage reduction, and you're not going to be having the 30-piece awakening for the extra damage and like the damage convergence for the Lost Wind Cliff. So just run Light of Salvation if you have that, and if not, just run either a boss set or a weapon set. They both do the same thing. They both give you max HP. Other than that, there isn't really much else to talk about. Obviously, you need your tripods, but your tripods, you can literally just go through and click the ones that I showed you. You're not going to have that many tripods because, as you can see, a lot of these don't have a level. That means they're at the max level they could be at. But other than that, that's about it for this video. If you did like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.